Hello all. Today we will look at Tamil Nadu's journey from NFHS round 4 to NFHS round 5. Tamil Nadu has traditionally been performing well in the field of child malnutrition. Also, when it comes to child mortality, is Kerala's neighbor. On the anemia front, we'll have to see how it has done. But we also see there are considerable variations in two different parts of Tamil Nadu, the northern and the southern. And there's also a central cluster which needs to be looked at because it behaves differently. So we'll see how Tamil Nadu has performed overall. When it comes to reducing child malnutrition, it seems to have done well. It has also reduced the levels of child mortality quite appreciably. While doing these maps, we have used nfhs4.gis.org, indiagis.org, and for NFHS5, we have used nfhs5.indiagis.org. So our viewers who are interested in doing their own analysis and drawing their own inferences are most welcome to have a look at it. So let us see how the story unfolds when it comes to underweight. Now you would see a significant improvement between the NFHS round 4 and NFHS round 5, except one could call the Dindigul cluster in the central Tamil Nadu, where the situation hasn't improved. In fact, in a couple of districts, it has deteriorated. But when we talk of improvement and deterioration, it is Tamil Nadu being compared with itself. So if you look at the range, data range for underweight, at NFHS 4, you find it ranging from 12.8 to 34.7. And some matter of concern that it has marginally worsened to 14.5 to 36.3, but overall improvement across the districts can be seen. Let us look at what is happening to stunting. And while we move further, just notice this dark green patch at the bottom. This is the Kanyakumari district. We will see it quite often. When it comes to stunting, we again see a considerable improvement across the state, except the eastern fringe, one would say. I would say data range has remained more or less the same. So we are looking at stunting also, where Tamil Nadu seems to have done fine. When it comes to wasting, I think that is where it has put its best foot forward. And you would notice that the range has moved from 9.0 at the lower end, 34.6% at the upper end. This is in terms of children, percentage of children wasted. That has come down to 7.0 and 22.8. We should take into account the fact that as the undernutrition levels reduce, the climb becomes more uphill. So here, though the range has not changed very drastically at the lower end, at the upper end it has appreciably come down. You see the overall improvement in NFHS 5, and that is something which is noteworthy. We also look at severe wasting. Now, severe wasting gives us a slightly mixed picture. And we see strong improvement in the northern region. It's there for anyone to see, but there are losses in the belt which can be called the erode to Shivaganga belt. Though the data range has reduced considerably. Now this is interesting. From 2.0 at the lower end to 18.7% at the upper end. It comes down to 1.6 at the lower end and 11.6 at the upper end. You can again see down below a green patch, Kanyakumari and couple of other districts. So this is kind of a recurring pattern. How has Tamil Nadu performed when it comes to mortality? Now it has reduced its level of child mortality in both the urban and the rural segment, and also in the three age segments: the neonatal, which means within the first 1 month, the infant mortality within the first year of life, and under 5. However, you would notice, and maybe one would be doing a bit of a nitpicking, that the reduction is somewhat sluggish when it comes to infant mortality rate. We of course do need to recognize that further reductions will become more difficult as the mortality levels start coming down, because it becomes steeper and steeper. How has Tamil Nadu done when it comes to anemia? Let us see, this is so an interesting figure. As far as children are concerned, 6 to 59 months, there is a worsening across the eastern districts and a sharp increase in the range at the upper end. So from 62, it moves almost to 82%. The lower end remains more or less the same. Yes, we do recognize data for few districts in NFHS 5 is not available, but the overall picture is more or less similar. We look at women in the 15 to 19 age group. There again, the gains are there in the southern half of Tamil Nadu, and some concern is there for this middle belt and the northern tip once again. The data range in terms of percentage anemic women has reduced, and this is bucking the national trend of overall increase in anemia levels all over. Here it has come down, in fact, from 39 to almost 32 and 82 to 67. Now that's very interesting. We don't have data for women in the 15 to 49 age group for some districts in NFHS 4. Therefore, what we have done is we have looked at all the women in the 15 to 49 year age group. Now here we see improvement across most of the state, but there is a middle cluster that is something which will need some particular attention. The data range here again hasn't changed much. It's marginal change. Again, perhaps it is bucking a regular trend in most states. What we did, an interesting exercise that Kanyakumari, since it is showing very good performance in terms of underweight, stunting, wasting, severe wasting, we wanted to see how does the distribution curve for the children look like compared to the World Health Organization's reference curve. Now let me explain this technicality a bit. What you are seeing on your screen is a green bell-shaped curve. Now that is the WHO reference curve. So this is a representative population of children, and this is how a curve should look like. What you see towards its left, the red bell curve, is the one which shows the distance which the red curve has to move towards right and to catch up with the green bell curve. What is important in all these cases is you see a arrow mark which is below -3. Now what this curve essentially shows is the standard deviation from a reference mean. So below -3 sigma, that's the term which is used, the green line touches 0. See, it happens in NFHS 4, NFHS 5, everywhere. The WHO reference curve, this is a feature you will notice, that the line touches 0 when it comes to -3 or +3. We are right now not looking at the +3 part. But this red bell curve, you see it shows certain area which is to the minus of 3 sigma. And this is something which ideally should be brought down to 0. But you would notice that Tamil Nadu, that Kanyakumari is fairly close to moving towards the green reference curve. And this is for underweight particularly. This is so for stunting, though stunting is little difficult to kind of catch up with the reference curve. But in wasting, that is the next slide coming on your screen, you see the curve is fairly close to the green curve. And our own estimate shows that Kanyakumari would have, if you go by the 2011 population, children population basis, and look at the severe wasting percentage from NFHS 5, you are looking at approximately 3,500 children who may be severely wasted. It's not a large number for a district to handle. So Kanyakumari can probably aspire to come fairly close to this becoming free from severe wasting, and maybe underweight as well. So what are we looking at overall? That Tamil Nadu has done well in reducing its levels of child malnutrition in all the three segments, particularly wasting, but there are some concerns in severe wasting. It has performed well on the child mortality front as well, though IMR reduction is a bit sluggish, and that may require a little stronger efforts on the part of the system. The anemia situation has shown worsening for children in the below 60 months. There's a mixed picture for women in the 15 to 9 age group, and improvements in the 15 to 9 age group for all women. Kanyakumari, as we have seen, appears to be best performer in all the four parameters: underweight, stunting, wasting, and severe wasting. So a question that comes to one's mind is, can this district dream of becoming a Kuposhan Mukt district, triggering a wave from Kanyakumari to Kashmir? We always talk in terms of Kashmir to Kanyakumari, India being one. I think if in becoming Kuposhan Mukt, Kanyakumari triggers that wave, which reaches up to Kashmir, it will be a worthwhile exercise. We leave the readers with that thought, and we'll move to analysis of another state. Thank you very much.